Yeah, it's okay. This one is very long. So I don't know how those are. I'll check.
Olha.
Look to ngajeng tadi nama perona. Ngajeng tadi nama perona. Number two, tanda soga na le shukti jada priya rame bina kobar chumena hindanda di para dengan tos gu shube giding liya jada priya nangena shukti jada priya perona. Good morning, everyone. Those who did not have the opportunity to offer scarf to His Holiness the Throne inside the temple, so we have a few more minutes waiting before the band group is ready. So please feel free to offer scarf to His Holiness' portrait or to the throne. So we have a few more minutes while we're waiting for the band to get ready. The ceremony.
제고 운전 수수와치 하시 하제 시시 속에 잠린 시대 대변 배바 용기 라나메베 우티 디치 땡기 깜네 깜군 겨와 왕보 탐제 켄지 세과 첨보 겨와 군디 조시바 제주 잠베 나왕로사 이셰 띵지 야도 세소 왕주 종과메베데 배 상보초 배 신바 나왕아베 체나 치로 지동국야 숨주성아 나와 덤베 체주인 도메 군본 따세도 모차 메도 중외데 토마탕 제 고담데 치로달 공장 구주라 페베 구드 자시 조denki 니모델 아리 높게 푸도 슈베 대대 용내 부숨 굴자 모두 푸데 고드 총가를 송지 제골 페베 군준 리다 가젤링 곰베 울라 게셰 라 남바 당 겐두 바나바 최소기 게주 남바 최도 페베 군준 젠종 기 지갑장 멜리사 아가초타 대신 UW 로비 쳔보 로더 리처드 데비슨 대소 사네 서큐 프란시스카 홍 종계 직접 슌바 크리스티 보메오 종계 술바 조버시초 셰야 로더 조버 파스터 타 UW John Duan che Tang Sri Lanka Tede Chozo Namba Tang Buria Tede Chozo Ari Nugi Kudu Shube Ari Wa Tang Chige Yuju Shen Tang Shen Ne Pebe Tede Chozo Yong Tang Shari Tungju Chikbe Puri Binda Chishu Yong La Ari Nugi Kudu Trungkar Kudi Tsukju Ki Tsapshu De Kumu Josem Rabdu Kowenga Samji Tashi Dele Changme Shuju Yin
Tashtile, good morning, everyone. With deep reverence and heartfelt joy, we come together today to celebrate a significant milestone, the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama, a worldwide symbol of compassion, wisdom, and peace. On this special occasion, we sincerely thank His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama for his tireless efforts in promoting the shared human values that unite us. His steadfast dedication to fostering interfaith understanding has highlighted ways to achieve mutual respect and peaceful coexistence among different cultures and religions worldwide. His Holiness the Dalai Lama has provided hope, strength, and direction, turning the story of displaced community into one of resilience, renewal, and global advocacy for justice. On behalf of the Deer Park Buddhist Monastery and the Wisconsin Tibetan Association, I welcome our distinguished guests, the Venerable Sangha members of all Buddhist traditions, distinguished guests, and all the devotees who have gathered from all over the world to celebrate His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday. Thank you.
Thoma dela Jerim Thangbo dela Zengu Unzu Shugu Thoma de Wisconsin Puri Ki Tha Rishung Lobje Loma Namne Pyo Gegap Chembo Gelu Tha Ari Gelu Bugu Dire.
Next is the Tibetan and American National Anthem led by the students from the Wisconsin Tibetan Language and Culture School. So may I request all to rise for the national anthem. Ari Gelo. Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light was the proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched was so gallantly streaming, and the rock is red clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof to the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. 도체나 넘어서 구신나라나.
제레빙이바디 공사겸근 첨보 추억이 샤데 순데 송대 남유
today 겐디면 넘버 이 우슈 도네 박정기 춤 추억이 샤데 소데 순대 남유.
Gotoen Meje Ganya Shede Lunge Dova Jinge Lo Petara Lo Me Jake Zona Lo Shuda Nine Gube Zodabe Mise Nime Zumurana Dazo Kanjo Dove Gun Awa Lo Zan Tenzin Jazo Jo Zazo Meje Mejuro Menova Shomshe Yonda Doje Kawa Jazo Yome Tadenjo Rajan Jawa Gwenye Zerego Nyimbo Chabra Zoe La Jenge Chile Gumene Sheba Jejen Lenye Rojo Jen Dede Zoden Kezana Migo Lejen Nase Chekotan Topden Jodo Gondo Ranave Keze Sije Zemo Jejura Je Chama Peme Shilan Dizejen Tazo Nyinge Zuzo Dame Jen Kajen Drebe Jeveran Kweza Jejo Jazo Darzejo Mejo Seche Kewe Shiladan Tende Loa Mebe Tembadan Dage Lazan Dage Tu Mebe Tenge De La Nyudo Jo Gare Rave Gorwe Shingande Tendan Dewa Molejo Chere Sewa Tenzin Gazo Ye Shabe Sete Bado Tenjuru Ji
Bachana, thank you very much.
La
Next, we have prayers of thanksgiving for His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama by the students of Deer Park Buddhist Center, led by Professor Ravi Stevenson. I'd like to request all the Deer Park students to come on the stage, please.
Sure. Can we get up?
Okay, while we're
The cake.
okay, thank you.
Call the cake camera.
While we're all waiting here, just a bit. We're waiting to turn it on.
There you
Okay, good. Thank you. Please, there are praises if you want to join in the refrain, or if you want to read everything, or if you just want to listen a little bit, that's great. I should mention that Shanti Deva had said that those who had thoughts of spite or malice towards bodhisattvas, it was real bad. They would spend time as long in the lower realms as their thoughts. But that those who had offering, thoughts of praise, thoughts of prayers, even a kind thought towards bodhisattvas, the benefit is absolutely phenomenal. Now the bodhisattvas really don't care because anything that comes their way is part of their practice. They just want us to become like them as soon as possible. So, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and Arhants, deities, dakas, and dakinis, protectors, and all holders of vows, come and join us in these words of praise. For upon this day, marked for the birth of a great one of the land of snows, we sing out our voices wrapped in glee, we sing out with voice tears of joy. Praise for the land of snows guardian, the protector of the Patala, source of the 21 Taras, Advocacy in form. Praise for a monk named Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th of the Dalai Lamas, love and compassion of Chenrei Zig, wisdom of Manjushri embedded. Our bodies bowed in reverence, our voices joined together in praise, our minds united in gratitude for one who is the heart of Dharma, heart of peace who turns us from grasping, heart of compassion who soothes our sorrow, heart of love who guides us to joy, heart of wisdom who opens our eyes. 9 years has passed since his holy birth, 86 since his enthronement, 66 from when he departed with tears to the land of Siddhartha, to the land of Nalanda scholars, from where a teacher brought teachings that passed to Tsongkhapa and Gendadrupa, the first of the Dalai Lamas. Gendadrupa, source of the lineage, the jewel lineage of skill that has joined the unfailing guidance of teachings with the challenge of affairs of state. The lineage shining for centuries over a land with mountains of snow now shines over a world in turmoil, a world crying for solace and peace. Our bodies bowed low in reverence, our voices joined together in praise, our minds united in gratitude for one who is the heart of Dharma, heart of peace who turns us from grasping, heart of compassion who soothes our sorrow, heart of love who guides us with joy, heart of wisdom who opens our eyes. Sadness of leaving Tibet remains, but worlds of joy come through its blessings. Blessings he gives to countless millions, blessings he gives to us at Deer Park, blessings given through Geshe Sopa, blessings given through Kala Chakra, lessons given through his pure teaching, lessons given in ways most profound. His Holiness planted seeds that grow, seeds of masters who gave us pure teachings, seeds of lineages through Ganja and Frisu, seeds of Geshe Sopa's new lineage. Look at all that surrounds you here. Look not with your eyes, but look with your heart. We stand in his vast grove of blessings. We stand on a path of true freedom. For the one who we give praise today, the deepest of prayers of thanksgiving, brought us to this path of liberation, a true path we must bring to others. May the praises and prayers we offer provide pillars that give us support to follow the path of Tenzin Gyatso, to follow with love and compassion. And may these words, though simple and true, convey the breadth of our recognition, convey the depth of our gratitude, and hold aloft the pledge that we give. On this day, the 6th day of July, we pledge with unbreakable intent to complete the path that you've shown us, to bring all to the true freedom and joy. For as long as space remains, for as long as worlds remain, we will also remain to end all suffering. This is our pledge to you, Tenzin Gyatso, heart of peace who turns us from grasping, heart of compassion who soothes us from sorrow, heart of love who guides us to joy, heart of wisdom who opens our eyes. I want to say just a few last words. Where we are is a phenomenal place. Think of Samye, think of Gandhi, think of Sarah, think of those who came early. That's who you are. At this place is a phenomenal history of teachings, a phenomenal set of teachings that are ongoing. Scholars of highest capability and intent. A translator who has incredible capability. Now, all of us have been in a place like this before. None of us would be here unless we had. It was lands further away than this. But I hope sincerely we may all meet here in life after life. Thank you for what you're giving.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tuchina.
Tanda di je la ngaran zo rishung lap je yoga gi ge ten chu la ne ta le la ne ngam da ji sibu shwe sha.
Next, we have a Tibetan traditional opera song sung by the Wisconsin Tibetan Language and Culture School music teacher Gen Tenchula.
The option.
Hello. Chenang, thank you.
No.
DJ la Maranzo, Wisconsin, Puritan, so get so, Jib Tombala, Net, Student or Social Nangyo.
Next, I would like to request the Wisconsin Tibetan Association President Chijab Dombala to address the gathering.
Hello. Respected guests, community members, friends, supporters of Tibet. Kanri Rabe Kowe Shingamsu, Pendant Dewa Mali, Jungwene, Jeresi Wan Tenzi Gazoi, Shave Sede Patu Tenjuji. Jawa Tenzi Gazo, Kundi Chupshipa, Ani Talo Kude, Kapla, Lo, Konglo, Kuju, Swembala, Azo Pemi, Jiong, Tang, Mixe, Wisconsin, Chidun Sokba, Dagashi Wisconsin La Pemi, Ne Sangme, Kuzap Shuchi, Ingu Riveting, Jawakundin Chushibala, Samri Jashi Deleta, Konglo, Nurtu Temple Show, Shui. It is with deep humility and joy that I stand before you today as the president of Wisconsin Tibetan Association to mark the sacred occasion of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday. We gather here at Deer Park, a spiritual sanctuary and home to Tibetan and rich Buddhist heritage in America, to celebrate the life and legacy of truly extraordinary human being. Our leader, our refuge, our moral campus, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Let me first offer heartfelt gratitude to everyone present, Tibetan and non-Tibetan friends alike, who have come to honor His Holiness, not just with words, but with action, presence, and commitment. Your support means everything to our small but resilient community. Just days ago, our community had profound honor of hosting the Midwest Gotoen Festival in Madison, a celebration of His Holiness' birthday that brought together Tibetan youth, elders, and friends from across the United States and Canada. What began as an idea turned into something far greater, a moment of unity, strength, and joy. And what made it so remarkable was not the scale or size, but the spirit. From elders donating their time, knowledge, and prayer, to our youth building stages, playing sports, and performing cultural songs with pride. From volunteers preparing food to families opening their homes, from business stepping forward with sponsorships to artists, drivers, MCs, and unsung heroes behind the scenes. Everyone gave what they could, not because they had to, but because they believed in the message of His Holiness: compassion, service, and collective responsibility. This is the heart of strong Tibetan community, but while today is a celebration, it is also a reflection. We must remind ourselves that His Holiness' vision is not fulfilled by celebration alone. His tireless work for Tibetan freedom, non-violence, religious harmony, human rights, and preservation of our culture and language still needs each one of us to carry it forward with action, courage, and humility. As Tibetans living in freedom, we carry a sacred duty to be the voice for those who cannot speak freely, to educate the world about Tibet, and to raise our children not just as citizens of this country, but as a proud custodian of 1,000-year-old civilization under threat. To our non-Tibetan friends and supporters here today, thank you for standing with us. Your solidarity affirms the universal nature of His Holiness' message. His struggle is not just Tibetan, it is a human one. And together we can keep the flame of justice and dignity burning. And His Holiness often says, we must be optimistic. Hope is not passive, it is active. So let us move forward from today, not just with joy in our hearts, but with commitment in our hands. Let this 90th birthday be not just a milestone, but a call to action, to educate, to organize, to serve, and to embody the values His Holiness has given us through His life of compassion and wisdom. May His Holiness live a long and healthy life. May Tibet be free. Good yellow.
Good yellow.
Krishna, Krishna.
40th Dalai Lama of Tibet. My name is Ridin Gyaltsama on this very special occasion. His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, the manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, is the most revered spiritual leaders of our time. Born on July 6, 1935, in the small village of Taksir in northeastern Tibet, he was recognized as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama when he was 2 years old. After moving to Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, for his formal education, the Dalai Lama assumed full political power in 1950 at the age of 15, as the Chinese military presence in Tibet intensified. Following a failed uprising against Chinese rule in 1959, he was forced into exile in India, where he was warmly welcomed and since lived in Dharamsala, Himachal Pradesh. This town remained the center of the Tibetan government in exile and the heart of the Tibetan diaspora community. Despite being displaced from his homeland, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama has devoted his life to promoting peace, nonviolence, and compassion. He has tirelessly advocated for the rights and the cultural preservation of the Tibetan people while consistently urging a nonviolent middle way approach that sees genuine autonomy for Tibet rather than complete independence. A Nobel Peace Prize laureate in 1989, the Dalai Lama has traveled the world sharing message of a universal responsibility, interfaith dialogue, and the importance of inner values in promoting happiness. Even after stepping down from his political duties in 2011 to support democratic reforms with the Tibetan exile community, he continues his spiritual missions and remains a voice for the voiceless. Today, he highlights his 4 commitments promoting human values such as compassion, kindness, fostering religious harmony, preserving Tibetan language and culture, and reviving the ancient Buddhist traditions of Nalanda in India. The legacy of the Dalai Lama is not solely political or religious, it's profoundly human. His enduring smile, humility, and teachings continue to inspire individuals from all walks of life to live more meaningful ways. Thank you.
Kushina Rigena, DJ Vatana, Jane, Zonki, Chijap, Lalisa Agar Chole, Sushinayu.
May I have the honor to invite Melissa Eggert, the Dane County Executive, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a real honor to be here at a time in our world when things feel very complicated, messy, unsafe. Being able to be surrounded by so much humility and compassion and love and the belief in the possibility of peace for all of us is really heartwarming. And I think this timing of the 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, mixed in with the state of our world right now, is a message that we all need to sit in, soak in. It is a gift for us to be able to be here, considering everything that we are facing as a community. My name is Melissa Agard. I am thrilled to be the county executive here in Dane County, following in the very big shoes and amazing leadership of Joe Parisi before me. I have a proclamation that I would like to read to you all today and a call to action that I am going to start with. And my call to action is, let us not lose our curiosity, let us not lose our compassion, and let us not lose our ability to believe and know what it is that is better for us and for future generations. That is what I will walk away with today, reminding myself of, in honor of the Dalai Lama and the work that he has done and will continue to do for all of us on this world. So whereas His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso has dedicated his life to promoting peace, compassion, and universal responsibility, earning worldwide recognition as a tireless advocate for human rights, democracy, religious freedoms, and environmental protections. And whereas in 1989, His Holiness was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition of his steadfast commitment to nonviolence and his effort to find peaceful resolutions to the Tibetan issue through dialogue and mutual respect. And whereas His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 4 principled commitments have been a guiding force in advancing the principles of human values, nonviolence, interfaith harmony, and environmental sustainability, inspiring countless individuals around the world and bringing us all together today to celebrate him. Whereas to honor the life and the legacy of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, the Central Tibetan Administration and the Global Tibetan Diaspora will observe his 19th anniversary of birth as a year of compassion from July 6, 2025 through July 5th of 2026, through a series of cultural celebrations, exhibitions, public talks, and conferences, highlighting His Holiness's enduring contributions to humanity, compassion, and world peace. Whereas throughout his life, the Dalai Lama has exemplified the principles of compassion, humility, and wisdom, and has served as a beacon of peace and reconciliation during one of the most difficult periods in Tibetan history. And whereas the Tibetan Policy and Support Act of 2020, signed into law by the United States, reaffirms that the selection of the Tibetan Buddhist leaders, including future Dalai Lama, should be determined solely by the Tibetan Buddhist community without interference of any government, particularly the People's Republic of China. And whereas on the occasion of his 90th birthday, Tibetans and friends of Tibet throughout the world are joining together today in a joyous celebration of his life and his legacy, including members of the Wisconsin Tibetan Association and the Deer Park Buddhist Center, the Tibetan communities across the globe in addition. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Melissa Agard, Dane County Executive, hereby honor the life and legacy of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. It acknowledges the period of time from July 6th of 2025 to July 5th of 2026 as a year of compassion in honor of the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday, and proclaims July 6, 2025, the 90th birthday of His Holiness, as a day of compassion here in Dane County.
Thank you.
Peace to you all.
Krishna, Miss Melissa. Thank you very much. Tuchena di jela the UW ke Loben Chembo Dr. Richard Sanchone ani Tuchena.
Next, may I have the honor to invite Professor Richard Davidson, founder and director of the Center for Healthy Minds, to address the gathering, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you to the Wisconsin Tibet Association and to the Deer Park Buddhist community for all the tireless work you have done over the many years that you have been doing this work. I first met His Holiness the Dalai Lama in 1992, and it was at that time that His Holiness had the insight to take the practices from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition and investigate them with the tools of science. And His Holiness had the conviction that if we find that these practices are of benefit to humanity, we can demonstrate them with science and disseminate them widely. And this has been our assignment as scientists, working through the inspiration of His Holiness over these years. When I first met His Holiness in 1992, there were 3 scientific papers published on the effects of meditation. Now there are thousands. The change in such a short time has really been dramatic, and it is because of the inspiration and insight of His Holiness at that time. His Holiness has also been a proponent of what he's called secular ethics, the promotion of basic universal human values. This work has penetrated in systems of education throughout the world and is really transforming how we can educate the heart in addition to educating our mind. His Holiness often talks about the Nalanda tradition, an integrated way of knowing. And this is a tradition that he showed scientists and gave them insight into how we can bring these great systems of knowledge together. And this has been a legacy that will live on for many, many years and has transformed our understanding of the human mind and the human heart. And today, in this polycrisis world in which we're living, there is really no time in human history when this work is more important than it is today. And so, one of the things that His Holiness often says, I've heard him say this to Tibetan communities throughout the world, it's important that we do more than simply pray. We need to put his words into action, to embody the practices of kindness and compassion. And it really doesn't take that much, because human nature is really designed to promote kindness and compassion. This is the nature of our hearts and minds. And so please, let's all make a commitment to take His Holiness's words of kindness and compassion, embody them, and change the world in this way. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Professor Richard Davidson. May I have the honor to invite Representative Francisca Hong to address the gathering, please.
Thank you so much. So my ancestors are from Korea, and we always say if there's a rain on a celebration day, it means prosperity for all. So I think it's okay that we've got a little rain today. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Francesca Hong, and I have the honor of being the state representative for the 76th district here over next door in Madison. And I am truly honored to be with you all today. I want to thank all of the honored guests and elected officials and representatives for elected officials who are joining us today. But I also want to thank all of the volunteers who have put countless hours into ensuring that we are able to have this celebration today. I know that a lot of times your work goes unrecognized, so thank you. We still have folks working all afternoon for this moment. On this day, the 90th birthday of His Holiness, I recognize that it is a time to celebrate, but I also recognize that with our world today and what many of us are facing and may be facing with seeing harm done to the communities we love so much, we are also allowed to grieve in this moment. And I think that grief being one that is collective and one that we share with our communities can make us stronger. As mentioned earlier, hope is active, and hope is also a discipline. And the values and the way that we live, what the holiness teaches us, the values of peace, of living with compassion, of living with kindness. It is what also allows us to live with hope in our hearts. I think that when this hope is collective, that we are sharing it with one another, it is also what allows us to care deeply for the neighbors that we know and the neighbors that we do not know. So I hope today, as we reflect on the life and the spirit and the amazing values that the holiness has been sharing with the world and that so much of the world has received, we feel a deeper collective responsibility to love and care for our neighbors with even a deeper sense of hope. And I hope we recognize that no matter what act, small or big, maybe sharing a meal with your neighbors or going out to organize communities, taking action in protests, that we each have the power to make a difference in this world, to build a better world. And I want to thank each of you for showing today that that is possible, that it is a responsibility of ours, and to continue to have celebrations like this one, because our joy and our celebration is also a collective resistance and a way to ensure that we have peace in our world. Thank you so much.
May I have the honor to invite Christy Baumel, Deputy Mayor of the City of Madison, to address the gathering.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. I am honored and humbled to have the opportunity to join you in honoring His Holiness, the 14th Dalai Lama, on his 90th birthday, and to celebrate and amplify his legacy of compassion, tolerance, and peace. I am here for the mayor of Madison, who is not able to be here today, but I want to share her words as well, and she sends her appreciation and gratefulness as well. We are very lucky to have the Wisconsin Tibetan Association's Cultural Center in Madison, and they welcome us in to celebrate with them, share a meal, dance, honor their culture regularly, and we're very grateful for that relationship. Madison is better for it. The mayor also I would like to make a proclamation today, and I'll read that quickly. So, whereas His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama Tenzin Gyatso was born on July 6, 1935 in Taksar, Amdo, Tibet, and recognized at the age of 2 as the reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama, 14th Dalai Lama, beginning a reincarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama, beginning a life devoted to spiritual leadership, wisdom, and the well-being of the Tibetan people. And whereas in 1959, at the age of 23, His Holiness was forced to flee his homeland of Tibet following the brutal occupation of the Chinese Communist government, and has since lived in exile, becoming a symbol of peace and resilience for millions around the world. And whereas despite his exile, His Holiness has remained steadfast in his commitment to nonviolence, compassion, and dialogue, advocating for the middle way approach to resolve the Tibetan issue and seeking genuine autonomy for Tibetans within the framework of the People's Republic of China. And whereas His Holiness was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1989 in recognition for his unwavering commitment to nonviolence and global human rights, becoming a beacon of moral courage in an age of conflict. And whereas His Holiness the Dalai Lama continues to stand as a spiritual leader of the Tibetan people and a global ambassador of peace who has touched the hearts of leaders, communities, and everyday citizens across the globe. And whereas on this day, members of the Wisconsin Tibetan Association, Deer Park Buddhist Center, and their American and international friends will gather in celebration, joining Tibetans and supporters across the globe in honoring His Holiness and recommitting to the values he embodies. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Satya Rhodes Conway, Mayor of Madison, Wisconsin, do hereby proclaim July 6, 2025 as His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama Day in the city of Madison, and urge all residents to reflect on his teachings and example and to embrace the universal values of compassion, peace, and mutual respect. Thank you.
Thank you. DJ la tada garazo denzo zongbe surpa jo parisi chone sumshen namju.
Next, may I have the honor to invite Mr. Joe Parisi, former Dane County Executive, to address the gathering.
Hello everyone, Tashi Delay. First, I'd like to echo the words of Representative Hong and thank everyone in the Wisconsin Tibetan Association and friends and volunteers for all of the work you've done all weekend to put on an amazing weekend and event today. And a special greeting and thank you to all of our guests from outside of Dane County, from other states who have come to join in this week's celebration. Welcome, we're so glad that you're here and that you made the journey. Thank you. When I think of His Holiness, I think of happiness. In fact, it's impossible for me to visualize him without a smile on his face, which usually brings a smile to mine. And for that, I am forever grateful. As we celebrate His Holiness's 90th birthday, I'm personally filled with gratitude and awe, not just at the global impact His Holiness has had on individuals and nations, but also by the good fortune that has been bestowed on our little piece of the world here in Dane County. From the beautiful temple and monastic community here at Deer Park, to the hundreds of Tibetan people and families who call Dane County home, who share your friendship and enrich our lives, we are blessed. And words cannot describe the tremendous gift of knowing and learning from Geshe Sopa, whom His Holiness asked to come here and develop Deer Park, and who so many of us have had the honor of knowing and from whom we've learned so much. And what a great birthday gift His Holiness and all of us received earlier this year when a young Tibetan boy from Canada was recognized as Geshe Sopa's reincarnation. His Holiness and Geshe Sopa were and are good friends who have taught us so much by living lives that have embodied Buddhist wisdom and teachings in a way rarely witnessed by those of us in the West. Teachings and lives to which many of us aspire, but that are so much easier to admire and aspire to than actually live in our everyday lives. but seeing them and knowing them gives us hope and a rare glimpse at the potential that exists in every one of us to live truly compassionate, meaningful, and fulfilling lives, and that there is indeed a path to that place of peace. So to honor His Holiness's birthday and his life, I hope we can affirm our commitment to learn from his example, his approach to his spiritual practice, to friendship, to adversity, and to happiness. A happiness that's attainable through loving our neighbor, through selfless action, and through committing to our personal and spiritual growth through whichever path speaks to us, be it Buddhism or another religion or practice. In that spirit, I wish you all happiness and success on your path, and join you in wishing His Holiness the happiest of birthdays. And in His honor, may we use our fortunate circumstances to benefit others. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Next, I would like to invite Dr. Zorba Pastela to address the gathering. Thank you.
No, I'm fine. Yep. Remember, no rain, no flowers, right? I mean, that's how it goes. Let me just get this set up. So I just have a few words. I first met Geshe Sopa in 1968. That's a long time ago. My friend Polly was in a comparative religions class, and she said, there is a Tibetan Lama here. And I thought, Tibetan Lama? What would that be? Met Geshe La, and I was smitten. All of a sudden, I thought, this is the real deal. Then when I went to medical school in the 1970s, I came back here to take teachings from Geshe La. In 1978, my wife and I traveled for about a year and went to the Tibetan Library and Archives for 3 months, taking teachings from Geshe Dorje there. And there we wanted to meet His Holiness, but it was really hard to do. But on the Liberation Day, we were at the library, we made the wrong turn, His Holiness made a wrong turn, he came down, and he kind of went and bowed to us, and I thought, oh my goodness, the Dalai Lama bowed to us. Something is there. Then we decided when we came back, we would move to Madison. We became part of the Deer Park community. In 1981, Penny and I, along with the whole team of people, Geshe La had just purchased this wonderful property, built the temple for the Kali Chakra, and everything began from there. His Holiness stayed at our house for 2 weeks in 1981. We had 3 young kids. We moved out, but every day we came back. Now, a couple of other things that I think are very important. As you know, His Holiness is on the old side. He's 90 years old. But this morning, I spoke with, I'm one of the doctors who cares for His Holiness, and I spoke to Dr. Suttonlaw about everything that went on in Dharamsala yesterday from our point of view. And I want to give you greetings that His Holiness is doing very, very well. His health is good. He's eating well. He's sleeping well. And he's in wonderful spirits. And he said if you were to ask, I'm sure His Holiness would thank all of us for coming and celebrating his birthday. So, Tashi Delay.
I would like to say a few words about Zorpa's donation to our community. This year, Zorpa has donated us $25,000 for our extended kitchen, and we are very happy, and it is in the name of his late wife, Penny. Thank you so much for Zorpa family.
Thank you, Dr. Zolba. The chair, the UWK Professor, the John Johansson, Essential Nambu.
Next, may I have the honor to invite distinguished Professor John Dunn from the Department of Asian Languages and Cultures and Center for Healthy Minds to address the gathering.
Ta ne sa chempu di dam du chen kebruchen di la nansu yawa repeche yishi norbu kongi chungse dang kongi shebten tempo deagi shoyagi chedo kenam zo saman yamdo de lene jinap chempu shidare anything the chapatang di jinap yipachi. So it's a real pleasure to be with you here. Through the kindness of the Wisconsin Tibetan Association. I thank you for the invitation. I'm here representing in part, I work actually with my colleague and friend, Richie Davidson in the Center for Healthy Minds, but I also hold a position in the Department of Asian Languages and Cultures, which is where Geshe Lungdu Sopa originally was a professor. And I said, in Tibetan, I said that this is a precious place. Professor Stevenson mentioned this earlier, and it is quite an amazing place, actually. This is where His Holiness the Dalai Lama first performed the Kala Chakra initiation to Dukor Wangchen in the West. It is a place also that you may not know, in 1961, that the very first Buddhist studies program in all of North America was established here in Madison, Wisconsin. And Geshe Sopa, a few years later, came to join that program. I mention that because His Holiness the Dalai Lama has been so engaged with science, as Richie was mentioning. But we need to ask, why is that? What is it about Buddhism, actually, that has enabled His Holiness the Dalai Lama to engage so deeply with scientists? There's something really quite unique. And what that is, we were earlier chanting a prayer that is connected to the activities of His Holiness, where we talk about the path that is the integration of emptiness and compassion. And when we talk about emptiness, actually what we're talking about is wisdom. And there's something really unusual about the Tibetan tradition, and therefore about Tibetan culture, that is unique in the world, that is really not just worth preserving, but is worth spreading, worth engaging with as rigorously as we can. And that is precisely the importance of wisdom, the importance of education, the importance of insight into the nature of ourselves and our world. Most religious traditions have compassion, but this emphasis on wisdom is truly unique. And it is part of what makes Tibet so important, Tibetan culture, and Tibet itself so important in the world. I'm actually, in addition to being an American citizen, I'm actually an Irish citizen. And Ireland was a colonized nation for more than 600 years. After centuries of struggle, Ireland attained its independence in the early 20th century. And of course, every culture has something worthwhile to offer. We Irish make good beer, for example. But perhaps there's something more important, you might say, in Tibetan culture. The importance of Tibetan culture is precisely the dharma, Nangbe-che. It is the capacity for the dharma to deal with the Pali crisis of our world, the difficulties that we face, the wisdom that is necessary, the compassion to motivate, but then the wisdom that sees what is really going on. And that is what makes preserving Tibetan culture so important. So with that in mind, I want to thank you again. I pray for His Holiness's long life. May he remain as long as samsara. And I also pray for the success of Tibet and Tibetan culture. May it bring the wisdom and the compassion of Nangpe-che to all of the world. Thank you very much. Purgyalo.
Thank you very much, Professor John Dunla. Putila, Next, we have Purpu Putila from SFT President reading a statement from the Governor Tony Evers' office.
The state of Wisconsin recognizes the invaluable contributions of Tibetan American communities whose resilience, creativity, and contributions continue to strengthen the social and economic fabric of the state. This year, individuals and families around the world, including in Wisconsin, are celebrating the 90th birthday of the Dalai Lama as a moment to reflect on the universal values of freedom, hope, compassion, and peace. Events will celebrate the beauty of the Tibetan culture and promote cultural understanding and community while honoring the rich heritage, traditions, spiritual values, and customs of Tibetan and Tibetan American communities. On this occasion, I do hereby join the Wisconsin Tibetan Association, the greater Tibetan community, and Wisconsinites across the state in honoring the 90th birthday of the Dalai Lama and wish everyone involved a successful and meaningful event. Signed by Tony Evers, Governor of Wisconsin. I have a bit to say. Happy birthday to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. Today, I want to take the opportunity to reflect on the deep significance of this special day. On His Holiness's 90th birthday, I stand with immense pride in what we as a community have accomplished and how far we have come. Every milestone we've reached is a testament to His Holiness's unwavering leadership, from guiding us to safety in India to advocating for our rights across the globe, including here in the US. His legacy is nothing short of extraordinary. Here in Wisconsin, the SFT Wisconsin chapter, with the support of the Wisconsin Tibetan Association, had the honor of lobbying in our nation's capital alongside with the International Campaign for Tibet. Together, we pushed for the co-sponsorship of 2 key congressional resolutions that honor this important milestone. In the Senate, we supported the bicameral bipartisan Senate Resolution 283 introduced by Senators Jeff Merkley and Todd Young. In the House, we backed House Resolution 515 led by Representatives Michael McCall and Jim McGovern. These resolutions go beyond politics. They are a tribute to the strength, resilience, and continued relevance of our movement. As His Holiness grows older, we are reminded not only of the immense love and reverence he inspires, but also of our collective responsibility to build a future that reflects the dreams and dignity of the Tibetan people. Because of him, we stand strong, united by a shared purpose and a resilient spirit. Think of his courage, fleeing a collapsing nation and leading his people into exile at just 24 years old. His vision was extraordinary. He championed education, established schools, and even asked his own family to care for orphan Tibetan children in the Tibetan Children's Village, which today faces the threats from US government's funding cuts. Personally, I would not be standing here without His Holiness. My grandparents, grounded in faith and hope, made the decision to send their children away in the belief that they would gain an education, preserve our language, practice our religion, and carry forward the culture of our people, sacrificed so much to protect. I know this story is not mine alone. It echoes through every Tibetan family that has fled Tibet. We honor this legacy today by sending our children to Tibetan schools in India during their summer breaks, dedicating Sundays to Tibetan culture and language classes, and raising the next generation with an unwavering commitment to Tibetan self-determination. And through all of this, His Holiness has never wavered from the path of nonviolence. Even in the face of genocide, the loss of 1.2 million Tibetans, and the unthinkable pain of self-immolations, he has responded with compassion and peace. That is the true strength of leadership. Because of His Holiness, we are not a scattered people, but rather a unified and determined movement grounded in wisdom and purpose. His faith in the Tibetan people, especially in his decision to transfer his political power to an elected leadership, reminds us that the future is now in our hands. As we celebrate his birthday today, we must also recommit ourselves to this responsibility. On this day, we will have to lead. One day, we will have to lead without him, and when that day comes, it demands preparation, unity, and action. I know that we, the Tibetan people, love His Holiness deeply and support his decision to have his reincarnation chosen from the free world. We reject the Chinese Communist Party's false claim to appoint a successor on behalf of the Tibetan Buddhists worldwide. With that, we must act. Write, email, and call your senators and representatives to urge their support for Senate Resolution 283 and House Resolution 515. We wish His Holiness continued health, long life, and strength, and we pray for the fulfillment of his greatest wish, to one day return to a free Tibet, where the Dalai Lama may live freely among his people once more. Tegelo!
谢不的啦。理解了，等到就Trungkar给不了的不学的。
Next, we have the birthday cake cutting ceremony. So I would like to request all our chief guests and Sangha members to come on the stage. You can come with your umbrella with you, and we'll sing a birthday song together. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, it's seen some things. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Alan, you want to join? Come on.
Are we ready? Okay, let's sing the birthday song together. You guys join me, okay? Kiki tungala tashi dele, Kiki tungala tashi dele, Kiki tungala tashi dele, Kiki tungala tashi dele. Yang kaya ina nama tu. Kiki tungala tashi dele, Kiki tungala tashi dele, Kiki tungala tashi dele, Kiki tungala tashi dele. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, Your Holiness, happy birthday to you. Tojana. Namaste Kushunarona. Please have a seat. So at this point we have a lunch for our chief guests, and the culture performances will continue. So kundu namacho ini gongzi debi shuya tha mema namacho enta gushu narona ngazu shana chabdu ani ya pherona yagi the basement dining hall na ele kundu namacho ma yagi shala shese the dina pherona wa basement dining hall na lol. And memang nama juta aku susun narona ngaji channel tab doing liu di mutwiche madoya ini. I'm going to read out the performing, the order of the performances, so that you know your orders. The first one is Wisconsin Tibetan Language and Culture School Group D, and then Wisconsin Tibetan Language and Culture School Group B and A, and then we have a Group C. And after that, we have a Dodo dance by the Wisconsin Tibetan Association members. And after that, we have a Sri Lankan culture performances by the Sri Lankan community of Madison. And after that, Buriyat culture performance by the Buriyat community from Chicago, or Buriyat heritage from Chicago. And then we have a Dome dance by the Wisconsin Tibetan Association members. And after that, we have a Uzang dance by the Wisconsin Tibetan Association. And after that, we will have a Buriyat culture performances. And then the last two, we have a Sangsul smoke offering. So after all the performances, we probably do the Sangsul offering.